Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Dia. Today I'm finally doing my mid-year review and flip through for you guys. And if we have a little bit of time, I need to update my ring planner and I've been putting it off for far too long. It is now July 1st and hopefully I can get this video edited and up for you guys pretty quickly. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys which planners I've been using this year and how I'm feeling about them and my thoughts about using them for next year. I apologize for my desk. I love this color. I stained it myself, but I didn't realize how much my planners were going to blend in with it. This is planner number 1. I've had this planner now for 5 years. It's my 5-year Hobonichi, and up until today, I had convinced myself that I was no longer going to use this in 2026. I feel like it's a little bit repetitive sometimes because I do my long form journaling in my Sterling ink planner, and then after that I put it away and I kind of do like a brief couple of lines in this planner. And at first I thought I'm just duplicating the information, but in reality this planner is just so much different. It's really neat to be able to flip open one book and see what you've written for the past few years, and I think I'm going to go ahead and repurchase this for 2026 and keep doing it. It really doesn't take much time. It takes about 5 minutes to fill it out, and I usually do my long form first and then I just take a couple of sentences that stand out to me and put them in here. It's just more accessible than digging through my journals when I want to remember what happened, and I really do like taking the time to read the previous years. I think that's part of the reason I was thinking I didn't want this anymore, is I've just been doing a little bit less journaling time lately and I haven't been reading the previous years, and I kind of lost sight of what I fell in love with about this planner in the first place. In the past, when I would miss a day, I would go back, read my long form journal because I never miss a day in that one, and backfill these. But for some reason this year, I just have several days where I didn't go back and backfill it, but that's okay. I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. Yeah, that's how this is going, and I am going to keep this in 2026. And of course, this is the leather cover that I purchased for it. So this book is just gonna come out and my new book will go in here. I've been using my Kaweco aluminum pen, and I'm using Document Brown, I believe it is, and the ink is Diatramentis, I think. I'll leave all of the pens that I'm using and the inks that I'm using down below. It doesn't fit in this pen holder, so I kind of have to put it in like that. My next planner is this one right here. This is new this year, and it replaced my need for using the Hobonichi weeks. It never fails for the past few years. I always end up purchasing a Hobonichi weeks for my health and fitness or different things, and I never end up finishing it. There's just something about the Hobonichi weeks that I don't love. And honestly, I think it's that it's not grid paper on the left-hand side. But this is a traveler's notebook that I had. And if you can see right here, my dog, when she was a puppy, scratched it all up. So I never really used this journal much. And I decided to cut it to make it fit this Sterling ink weekly planner. It's the weekly common planner. So I cut it up, fits this. This was at the bottom, of course, so I went ahead and just glued it on here, and I love it. I think it's really cute. This is the Camel Traveler's Notebook. I'm using a Sarasa clip in 0.5, and this is the vintage brown ink. I love their vintage colors. Okay, so in this is my health and fitness journal. I'm not good with the trackers in the front here. At first I was tracking my menstrual cycle and alcohol, and I haven't really been drinking alcohol at all lately, so I kind of just stopped tracking it, and that's just kind of space gone to waste. So then I decided in this section I was going to keep track of my steps. That didn't last very long. So then I decided to keep track of my sleep, and I forget to check in on this section all the time. So whenever I have some time, I'll go ahead and fill it in, but I'm not really using these front sections. The monthlies I use for my training blocks. I usually do a 5-month training block before one of my running events. So this is how I plan out when I can start my blocks and where I'm at in the process. Right now, I am currently training for the Javelina 100 in October, the 100K, and I am in block 1, week 4 right now. So it just helps me recall what training I'm supposed to be doing. In the weekly pages, I keep track of my workouts for the week, and then on the right-hand side, I'll write down any notes. A lot of times, these right-hand pages end up going to waste. You'll see in a second. I actually did pretty good there. I take it back. I write in them more often than I gave myself credit for. So I'll usually put notes over here, and then just recently what I started doing is keeping notes on some of my intervals because I'm getting a little bit more serious about my training right now. So my interval training, when I do my long runs, I did a 4-hour long run this week. So I'm keeping track of my nutrition, how much water, electrolytes, and everything that I drink and take in because I really want to dial in my nutrition for this race, especially because it's probably going to be pretty hot out and it's a pretty long race. My weight, so I can see how much I lose during my run to make sure I'm taking in the proper nutrition. And then this week, it's a deload week for me. So that's a nice break. In the daily section, I go ahead and keep what I'm eating. Most of the time, this is pretty casual. I'll write in what I had for breakfast, lunch, dinner, my snacks. Sometimes I'll write in notes about how the food made me feel, how I felt from my workout that day, and I don't always do notes. And then let's see, like I said, I haven't drank in a while, but in red, I'll put if I've had any alcohol, just because I'm, like I said, in training and really trying to cut out the alcohol, and the red makes it pop out a little. Just recently, I was trying to get a little bit more serious about my calorie intake, and that didn't last very long. Let's see. So right here, I started keeping track of my calories and then was adding them up and seeing if I was in a deficit here. I was really just trying to get a better understanding again of portion sizes because sometimes I start to skew them a little, and I wanted to remind myself of what a proper serving was. So I was doing this, but like I said, I just started training again and putting in as many miles and workouts as I am. Trying to be in a calorie deficit is not my primary goal, so I'm focusing more on protein right now. So this is where I keep track of all that. I just draw these in every week. I'll draw in the entire week. I'll put in the days. And then I just fill this out throughout the day. Like today, we're halfway through the day, and this is what I've had so far. Okay. That's that one. Next is my, I guess I can't really say this is my primary planner because it's not anymore. For the past few years, I've used the B6 Common Planner by Sterling Ink. This cover is by Rowena at Sojourner, by the way. And then I started to use a ring planner, and I felt again like I was duplicating a lot of information. So I stopped using this as a to-do list and mainly started using it as a journal. These front sections, I was doing really well at tracking my savers, my morning routine, and then just kind of fell off of it. It's summertime here right now in Arizona, and my training starts at 4 in the morning a lot of times so that I can beat the heat. And taking the time to do this in the morning just hasn't been a priority, but I do want to get back on tracking these things to make sure I'm getting them done. My monthly planner, I usually will just put any photo shoots that we have, or if we're visiting family. Fell behind on this as well. I didn't do June or July yet. And then we get into the daily pages, and this is where I do my journaling and also my hourly day timekeeping, if that makes sense. I still like to track what I do throughout the day. As many times as I want to stop doing this, I always end up doing it again because I journal in the morning the following day, and it's really nice to be able to look back at what I did because everything starts to run together after a while. So this helps me remember what I did the day before, and then I can write about whatever I want to write about. I don't do too much decorating at the end of the month. I'll try and do a a little doodle. And if you follow me on Documenting Dia on Instagram, I'm doing a photo a day challenge with my friend Jeff, and we're just using our cameras and taking a photo a day. That's been going pretty well. I do like to print them up at the end of the month and put them in here because I don't know what else to do with this space. So I thought this was a good use for it. I made this on Canva. Somebody else asked me for it and I was able to give them the template. So if anybody's interested and wants the template for this, just go ahead and leave a comment below or message me. So sadly, I've decided not to use this journal again next year. And it makes me really sad because I really love Sterling ink planners, but these grid lines are just so hard for me to see. If I'm not in like the perfect lighting situation, I have a really hard time writing in here. And not only that, this is kind of like my pretty planner, and I don't feel like I can take it camping or just on my adventures because I feel like it's going to get messed up and I don't want it to get messed up. So it's kind of like my pretty planner. I also find that, here, I left this note for me right here. Okay, yeah, so like on this page right here, I got my dogs groomed and I absolutely love the groomer that we found for them. And I would have stuck their business card in here with a little snapshot of my dogs, but because I don't want to bulk up this planner too much, it can already be hard to write in once you get to the center here. If I bulk it up even more with pictures and ephemera, it's just going to be way too hard to write in. So I will be letting this planner go next year, and I am going to be replacing it with this planner here. This is how I used to do my daily journaling, and let me open it up for you. This is not brown, by the way. This is my olive planner. The brown does look different, but when you're looking at this alone, it does look brown. So this is how I'm going to be journaling. I did this for years before I started using these other planners, and I love that I can stick so many pictures and ephemera in here. There's not much writing in here right now because all I'm using it for is pictures, but I want more journaling plus my ephemera in one place. And because these books are so thin, I can go through them quickly and not have to worry about them getting too bulky. And I don't know, there's something about these planners that is just so rugged to me. And I feel like when we go on camping trips and everything, this is gonna do just fine. Okay, that's my Sterling ink. Oh, and in this planner, I always use a Platinum Preppy. I have so many fountain pens and I have really beautiful, costly fountain pens, but for some reason, I am always drawn back to the Platinum Preppy. And this is another version of a Platinum pen that's just like the Platinum Preppy. It's the Platinum Pre-Font, I think. It has a little silver clip on it instead of just the same color as the pen itself. And I love this thing. It writes so smooth, so beautifully, and it's under $15. I almost forgot this little guy right here. I love a tiny planner. This guy is actually the same as this guy right here. If you've watched my videos before, you know that whenever I'm doing ring planning, there is just something in my head that says you throw away ring inserts once you're done with them. I don't like the way they store. One of the reasons I like using a ring planner is because I make a lot of mistakes on the pages, and it's nice that I can just rip them out and redo them, or know that they're just gonna get discarded at the end of the month or at the end of 6 months anyways. But I want to remember the things that I do on a daily basis. And I used to keep track of those in my common planner. And now that I don't do that, I decided to make kind of a little replica of my ring planner. I wanted to see if I was going to be able to use this instead of my ring planner, but there's just no way. I love my ring planner too much, and this is really cute and everything, but it's just not going to work for me as an everyday planner to replace my ring planner. So I have my monthly layout, followed by my weekly layout, and then I have my to-do list. And then it just repeats like that every month. I will show you what is in this by showing you my ring planner because they are basically the same thing. I recently did an unboxing on this planner. This is my first Gillio ever, and I managed to get it brand new. I've wanted a Gillio for so long, and I just wasn't able to find one new whenever they went up for sale. They were sold out within a minute, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link down below or up here somewhere telling you about how I got this, because it was not easy and it was very stressful. But I am so happy that I got it. There is nothing more beautiful than this leather. I've had VDS, Vanderspec, Moterm, different brands, and there is just nothing more beautiful than this planner. Okay, so in here, I was using this as a wallet. So I had some wallet card holders in here along with my cards back here, but I got a new wallet now, and this is just my planner now. First, I'll show you my pen. I was using another Sarasa clip in here, same thing, vintage brown. I love the brown over black. It's just a little bit softer. And I just got this pen from Jet Pens. It's a little Snoopy pen, and it's another version of the Sarasa clip. Actually, it says Sarasa Nano. The other one says Sarasa clip, but the Sarasa clip ink fits in here. So I just put one of my brown ones in here. This was actually brown gray when I got it, but I switched it out to vintage brown, and I love this pen, love the metal at the end. I always have a hard time putting it in here, so I just kind of clip it in here like that. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little flip through of this planner, because this is the one that I actually need to update, and I should have updated it last week, but I didn't. I have this yearly planner here, and obviously I fell a little bit behind. We're on July 1st now. Let me see if I can find a sticker for this. We're just gonna stick that on there. A little big, but that'll do. Okay, so I have that in here. 4th of July is this Friday. I have my monthly section, and this is where I just keep things like if I cleaned the house, the dog's grooming appointments, when I dyed my hair, and just little personal things. And like I said, these are just gonna get tossed at the end of the year. That's why I'm keeping a copy of them in here. And I'm gonna show you what is going to replace this next year too. Actually, I might as well show you now. So this, I would have probably done again next year just because it's so cute and tiny, but my husband surprised me with this. I love Snoopy, absolutely love Snoopy, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and just start tracking all of that stuff in here. The monthly section is fine, and there's no daily section in here, but my to-do list, I could probably divide this into 3 sections or 6 or however I want, and my to-do list I'm sure will fit in here for the entire week. And again, it's just to keep track of so I can look back and kind of see what I did during those weeks for the year. It's nice to see what I've accomplished, and sometimes I need to refer back to when I accomplished something. So this is going to replace my little book next year. And this is Moleskine, by the way. After my monthly section is my weekly section. I have this little divider in here dividing my weekly section, and I'm currently using these Filofax inserts, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna use them up because they're here and I don't want to waste them, but I can't stand them, guys. I can't do it any longer. I thought I could hold out for the whole year, but these things drive me nuts, and there's just too much going on these pages, and honestly it's a little bit too much space for me too. As you can see, all I wrote on here is clean house. I can fit all of this on one side, so I went ahead and printed out some Peanuts Planner Co. ones that are going to replace these. And then the next section is my wellness section, which has my affirmations, a little vision board. That's my training plan to reference to. I have my cycle, whether I've had alcohol. I was doing this little tracker in here, but stopped using it because I kind of nailed down these habits. And whenever I start new habits, I like to go ahead and start this up again. I have a task section, which has these inbox papers from, most of these inserts are from Peanuts Planner Co. I absolutely love how neat and clean and very easy to print her inserts are. So this is kind of like a little brain dump section in here, and I'll mark it off whenever they get done. Whenever I'm not sure what to do, I'll refer back to this paper here. And then this is just all my to-dos. I write in the date, and then I go ahead and write in the to-do list for the day. I draw this line in on the side, mark them off when they're done, or if I need to push them forward. And if you want to see this insert blank, this is what it looks like. It's just this plain lined insert right here. And then the next section is my Dia Moraz section, which is supposed to be notes and everything for my YouTube channel. I don't use this too much in here because I tend to use my notes and stuff on my computer, but I do have some stuff I'm going to be putting in here that I'll show you guys in a minute. Studio Carve is our photography business, and this is where I keep track of projects that are going on in process and that I'm editing. We currently don't have anything right now, but this is what that looks like when I'm keeping track of things, and then I put a sticker on them once they are completed. In the notes section in the back, I just have note paper, and then I started jotting down a few things that I wanted to buy. I think that is it. That's a flip through of all my planners, and I'm gonna go ahead and update this planner right now with you guys really quick because we are at the 6-month mark. Everything in the front agenda section can stay because I have the entire year printed out in months. This is also a freebie from Peanuts Planner Co. So that's gonna stay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and remove this section here, which is my weekly section. And like I said, I'm so done with these, I can't use them again. I printed out a few things here. Let me find them. And this is Peanuts Planner Co. and these are her weekly inserts. They're not dated like the other ones, so it's not as convenient, but it's so easy to just write in the month at the top and the date on the side. And now I only have 1 week per page instead of 2 weeks per page, so I don't feel like I'm wasting as much paper and taking up as much space. The next section is my task section. So I'm going to put another one of these inboxes in here. I'm gonna keep 2 of them in here. And I'm not gonna do it right now on camera, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through this list and transfer anything over to here and then go ahead and toss this list. And then I'm gonna pull out all of these to-do lists, which would usually make me kind of sad because I'm like, oh, all that life that I lived is just getting tossed. But again, I have a copy of it in here. So I'm gonna get rid of that. And I only had a few pages left, so I printed up more. And the next section is my Dia Moraz section, and I was gonna put this in my intention section, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here to remind me of why I have this channel and to remind me of what I want to share on this channel and to have gratitude and to just stay focused and hopefully start posting a lot more than I have been. But I'm gonna keep this in here as a daily read to remind me of why I'm doing my business. Okay, and that's it. It's a lot thinner because the weekly pages are gone. I'm just gonna slip that in here. This, oh God, you guys, I love this planner. It was not an inexpensive purchase, but it was well worth it. That's it. Those are the planners that I've been using in 2025 and what I plan to use for 2026. Of course, I'll do a video before the new year starts and show you guys what I've decided to use and how I'm going to use it. I hope your planning is going well this year. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. If you liked this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and helps me know what you guys want me to post. And if you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, make sure you hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.